Good afternoon. Jim Whitehead here, All Power Group and Phoenix Animal. I love you being here. I love being here. It's always fun with my animals. And yes, sometimes we get into other different topics. I just did a little bit ago a presentation showing how I, using Ubiquiti equipment, by the way, it's not sponsored, what we did to go from 2 expensive internet connections coming into our property to 1. So if you get a chance, take a look at that. I appreciate it. So today we're going to talk about, and you know, we all get stress related to what's going on politically. We know that. But sometimes you have to step back and kind of laugh at things a little bit. And it doesn't mean that you're like, well, you just laugh at everything and you don't have the recognition that we've got problems. We do. But there's also times for where you can laugh and hopefully have a little fun. Anyway, okay, this is another in the series of Politics in the Middle. And this is particular to some humorous things that our famous president has either done, acted, said, etc., etc. The first one is the Tim Apple gaffe. When referring to Apple CEO Tim Cook, Trump accidentally called him Tim Apple. This slip-up led to a widespread amusement, and even Cook jokingly changed his Twitter name. So, you know, hopefully that's, you know, it was probably funny, and we didn't know that we were going to get into what we're into now. But that's, we got to have some fun. Okay. In the cognitive nature, you want to have it where in the cognitive session, and you know, I did make an error, but that's okay. I don't even know how I'm going to fix this. But anyway, in the cognitive sense, person, woman, man, camera, TV, memory tests, Trump detailed recounting of a cognitive test where he had to remember those 5 words. It became a source of online humor. The simplicity of the test and the earnest description of it were widely parodied. You know, we saw it all over. And, you know, it's like we're saying, if you can say 5 things in a row and say it twice, you must be brilliant. But anyway, moving on. Various rally speeches. Donald Trump is known for his very animated speeches. Many clips of these speeches have been taken out of context or in context and turned into humorous videos. You know, the way he dances and does all the stuff like that. I don't really get it, but it is funny. Anyway. Now, as you know, everything that Trump touches, looks at, says about, uses the big superlatives. Trump's tendency to describe things as the best, the biggest, or the most has often been exaggerated for comedic effect. Parodies frequently feature him applying these superlatives to mundane objects or situations, amplifying the humor. You know, it's like with anything. I wish everything I had was the biggest, the best, the most expensive. But, you know, sometimes it isn't. So anyway, okay, and the other thing that's interesting is the water bottle incident. And one would say when you saw him doing the water bottle, it was where people, and I know everybody is that's not on the Trump side, they're always looking for something that shows that Trump is losing it. Now, to be fair, he's a little older than I am. He'll be 79. Let's hope we don't actually have to spend $1 million+ on a parade. That money could go to something better than that. But the water bottle incident, during a press conference, Trump's somewhat awkward and deliberate way of reaching for and drinking from a water bottle became a moment that was widely replayed and parodied. The seemingly simple act was amplified by his mannerisms, leading to comedic interpretations and comparisons. This moment was especially highlighted because it was thought to be mocking action toward a moment where Senator Marco Rubio had similar moments. And we all know Marco. Oh, God bless his administration, his cabinet. And, I know I'm trying to bring some lightness and some humor. But I got to be honest, since we brought up Marco Rubio, when you watch his board meetings, I don't know how anybody could work for someone that is so basically dishonest. And again, I know I'm going a little bit away from the comedy side, but the last 2-3 days, he's been in office a little over 100 days. And things have not gone well. Now, if you listen to him and his 100-day speech, it was like this was the biggest and best president of all time. And what supports him in that thought is when he goes around the room, and this doesn't even have to happen. He goes around the room and everybody in his cabinet says things that are totally funny, actually. You're the best thing that ever has happened in this world, and oh my God, are we lucky that we are all going to be rich, and the world that actually hates us now in a lot of respects, because we're not working with anybody. We're working against everybody. And that doesn't usually work real well. But when they go around the room, they kiss his butt. I don't know how anybody can do that. I mean, okay, if someone said, I'll give you $1 million if you say something good about someone, I might consider that. But when I'm in a job that I should have never taken in the first place, that you're going to end up losing in the long run because no one ever benefits from being with Trump. He uses people and then throws them away when they're not needed any longer. And that's real sad. So, boy, if you ever get a chance to listen to his board meetings, you might want to have where you're going to get sick to your stomach. So just be prepared because, again, no one just says, hey, it's a good day, the sun's out. No, it's all like, You are the best thing that ever happened to the world. And you know, we have, as I said earlier, a lot of countries that are not really that happy with us for a lot of different reasons. These tariffs are way off. Our expectation is, yes, things needed to be improved, how we have trade with countries, but you don't need to go to this extent where, in other words, you don't have any trade. And what has happened is the stock market has shown, you know, a significant drop over what it has been. The GDP, gross national product, is never been below zero, and it was minus, I think, 0.03. Don't quote me on that. But the bottom line, it's the worst gross national product that we've had in a long time. So what does he do? And the last thing I'll say, he's been in office 100 days. And I'm even amazed that one could actually say this to the world and your board members, which of course they would say, yeah, you're right. He, in essence, says that this downturn of everything that's happening is not his doing. It's because he only came into office 100 days ago. So what he basically says is everything that's gone bad is Biden's leftover bad tidings. Now, first of all, if you want to look at it objectively, President Biden did a good job in a lot of respects. But there's no reason or logic to say, I've been president for over 100 days, and when I took office, we had a growing economy, we had growing jobs, and he does all what I would say, and you would probably agree, drastic changes. Canada, Mexico, NATO, I can go on and on and on. There's no way that he can sit there and go, it's not my fault. It's all Biden's hangover that we have to deal with. He even went further than that. Now, a quarter is what, 90 days? So he is, in essence, already making an excuse for the next almost 100 days, saying that whatever happens the next 100 days is still not my fault. Now, we all have to be rational. Well, we don't have to be, but we should be. We hope we are. And if I could, and maybe I'm a little hard on myself a lot of times, but if I sat there and let's say said to 24, my wife, I mean, Jamie, my wonderful Shih Tzu, would say, yeah, you're right, Jim. But if I was saying to her, I don't do anything wrong. Everything's perfect. I'm perfect. Because of this, it's not my fault. Because of that, it's not my fault. The poor thing would go, uh-oh, we have a problem. And she would say, I think you need to probably look a little bit under the covers to see really what's there. So, anyway, with that parting suggestion to everybody, thank you for being here. Jamie, thanks you for being here. 24, my wife, thanks you for being here. And you're also looking at Big O, Miss Perfection, and Big Gorilla. And then, of course, Jamie, who is my boss. So I have to be relatively where I have my feet on the ground, and I'm trying to tell you like it is. So hopefully you've enjoyed a little bit of the break here in a little bit of humor. And I don't make these up. And I use AI for most of my scripting where, like in this case, I said, okay, tell me 5 funny things related to Trump. If I had said 500 things, it would have come up with 500 things. So the bottom line, there's plenty of material. Can't do it all the time because then again, people then would start worrying about me. But anyway, thank you. Subscribe, support the channel. It really, really helps a lot. And keep smiling if you can. Thank you. Have a great day.